So I do hope that the title of this video has enticed you, and I mean this in all sincerity. That's what you're going to get. There's no clickbait here or anything like that, but there is something that I need to do before we get into that, and I just have to set things a little bit up for you. So, you know, for those of you who know me, and I want a lot of people who don't know me to also watch this video, but for those of you who do know me, you know sort of my communication style, so you really have to watch this entire video to really get the most out of it. So before we get into how you really can become crazy, stupid rich, I know coming from a middle-class guy, but you know what? The people who are currently crazy, stupid rich are never going to tell you what I'm going to tell you, honestly. It's really important that I first kind of really tell you what's going on. The people in this world, and really more specifically, the people in this country, the people who really run things, the billionaires, the multi-billionaires, here's the truth that no one is really going to tell you. And especially if you're watching this and you're still in your 20s, you know, the world really doesn't want you to succeed all that much. They really don't, unfortunately. Don't shoot the messenger here. I'm actually trying to reverse this and try to help you become stupid, crazy rich, okay? I really am. You know, now and again, you may actually hear this, and I wish I could take credit for this, but sometimes you'll hear economists, maybe sociologists, you'll hear them use this phrase, most of us, unfortunately, are useful idiots to the all-powerful and all-rich class of people here. And this is why they really don't want us to be all that successful. They want us to be kind of successful because they need us to be successful enough to buy their products and services, but it goes really no further than that. Because remember, if we got really successful ourselves, then that means we would be taking their place. People who have power do not want to give up their power, okay? That's a very basic tenet of humanity. It's been around since the beginning of time. I'm going to assume it's going to be around until the end of time. How can you really sort of reverse this? From this context, the world is really made up of people who make and produce things and people who consume things, right? And unfortunately, most of us in this country are really consumers. We really, truly are consumers. And this is coming from a business guy who's really trying to help you, but a business guy who actually cares. So I know we're all consumers, but it doesn't mean we have to be consuming most of the time. If you want to really, truly get ahead in this world, you have to look at things from a production mindset. You have to look at things from the standpoint of what are the productive activities, what are the productive things that I can do with my life. If you've either started a career or even if you're still looking for the right career, that's fine, by the way. You know, you might be working super hard at a job already that you've been maybe a couple of years, but it's not truly what you want to do with your life. It's not truly what you love. And there's a video that I did a couple months ago back in the summer that kind of sort of talks about this. I could put it in the description, but you know, that's really sort of part of this, doing productive activities. Also, if you're still in school or you're thinking about going to grad school or you're thinking about going for yet another master's degree or whatever the case might be, if you feel that that's the right thing to do, spending quality time, quality being the key term, spending quality time with family and friends, definitely productive. You know, working on fitness, working on your own health, working on your body, going to the gym, sort of, you know, feeling good about yourself physically as well as mentally. All of these sort of things are really productive, and I truly mean this. It's not just about work, 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 because the most successful people, especially the most successful people that have really made it on their own, really do understand this sort of balance. So I'm not just saying all you need to do is work all the time, but you probably have to work most of the time if you really want to kind of get there. But these are all productive activities. But unfortunately, most of us don't do nearly enough of this stuff. Unfortunately, most of us are consumers. We do way too much consumption, and I'm sorry, I'm not here to kind of judge you or anything like that, but you know, I do think that there are way too many people who spend way too much time on social media every day. I do. I think that we put in way too much time watching movies and other, you know, nonsense. It's good to watch nonsense now and again. It's good to watch good movies now and again. I don't think there's generally kids watching my videos, but if you are above the age of 14, my good advice to you is don't daydream. I know even when you're in your 20s, sometimes we daydream. I used to sometimes daydream too, but you don't want to daydream. Daydream gets you nowhere. And how you get things done in life? By doing them. By the way, I understand creative visualization. That's different than daydream. For those of you who know me, know how fond I am of my all-time favorite comedian, George Carlin. And Carlin had in one of his bits one of the greatest lines. He said, you know why they call it the American dream? It's because you have to be asleep to believe it. There's so many companies out there who make their companies, make their businesses on the backs of us because they're banking on us dreaming and daydreaming all the time and never doing anything about it until we die. Okay, so now on with the main event. So how do you become crazy, stupid rich? First step, I want to come up with a product or service that has some degree of broad appeal. Now, broad appeal doesn't necessarily have to mean it has to cater to everybody. It can, if that's what you figure out, but it doesn't have to. Broad appeal could mean something such as creating something called Microsoft, where, you know, it's got a lot of broad appeal, right? It doesn't really just have to be like that. It needs to be sizable and broad on some level. Victoria's Secret, part of L Brands, right? A company that I adore and that I worked for a long time, and I really have a tremendous amount of respect for, Bath and Body Works and VS. So if you look at VS from a marketing standpoint, from a demographic standpoint, Victoria's Secret really kind of focuses on just a small band of customers at the end of the day, namely women approximately the age of, let's say, 18 to 34, 18 to 35. In the grand scheme of things, that's a relatively small band. You have been able to expand to the extent that you can and grow almost in an unlimited way the amount of products that you can sell to 18 to 34-year-old women as a general key demographic. And that sort of also qualifies for a broad enough product or service. So whatever it is you do, if you really want to become stupid, crazy rich, just make sure that you're not really kind of getting into a niche, or if you're going to do a niche, again, let it be somewhat sizable. You know, whatever the term is supposed to mean to you, just make sure that it is broad enough. And of course, that can mean a lot of different things, but that's really the point there. Step number 2, you want to make sure that whatever product or service you come up with is scalable, okay? Now, scalable is a key term here. You can be a really high-powered lawyer that makes a ton of money, okay? But lawyers are not crazy, stupid, rich. Business people are. Why? Because if you are a super talented lawyer, high-powered, well-paid lawyer, has to do with you have to put in your labor each and every day for each and every case you work on. So that is not scalable. You want things where you can basically create them and then let them sort of go on autopilot to an extent. Now, you write this book that winds up being a bestseller. You put in all this labor for 1.5, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, and then you sell a gazillion of them, right? Something like that. That's what we're talking about when we mean scalable. Take Microsoft, for example. So, and yes, I know that obviously Microsoft continues to get updated, right? And there's a lot of continuous labor, but hopefully you're getting the general point. You make this thing called Microsoft Office. You've got these programs, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. You go through all of this incredible hard work, and you basically finally put it all together, and then you put it on whatever in the early days, a CD-ROM or a DVD, whatever, and you sell, once again, you sell a gazillion of them. The third step is lie to customers. I'm not condoning lying in general, but when it comes to being crazy, stupid, rich, this is what you have to do. Lie good and proper. And you know what? When you're done lying, lie some more, okay? You got to keep those lies going. Some of you know how much I adore Tim Cook, right? So Tim Cook lies all the time. What is his latest lie with the iPhone 12? So he nicks the, those standard earbuds with the cable, and he also nicks the charger, right? So now I'm not going to turn this into one of my Apple videos. And what did good old Tim Cook tell you as to why they did that? He said it's because of the environment. Really? Really, it's because of the environment? Okay. So all of that expensive, fancy packaging that Steve Jobs instilled, that has nothing to do with the environment, does it? Right? Is this really about the environment, Timmy boy? Or is it the fact that you want to basically sell people the wireless chargers and you want people to buy more expensive AirPods, whatever it is now, AirPods 3, AirPods 4, I can't keep up with AirPods. Every business that really is huge, every business where they are crazy, stupid, rich, they lie, and they lie all the time, and they lie through their teeth. They do. It's just the way of the world, okay? Step 4, find the absolute best way to appeal to your customer segment. What are you really selling them at the end of the day, aside from a product or service? Are you selling them dreams? Are you selling them hope? What type of emotion are you truly selling them? Make sure that you can come up with the absolute best story in terms of what it is. Is it hope? Is it dreams? Is it seduction? Is it promise? Make sure that you can find the absolute best appeal to your base. And lastly, make sure that whatever you do, keep your customers always emotional about things. Make sure that your customers are filled with whatever feelings that you are basically throwing their way. Make sure that they are constantly filled with feelings, because I can tell you right now, and when you look at every single company, every single large successful company, or every single really successful entrepreneur, you will notice that they are doing precisely that. You'll notice that what they are doing is that they are making sure that you are staying good and emotional. And the one thing that no company ever wants you to, God forbid, ever do is think. The last thing a company wants you to do is do some thinking, because if you do some thinking, you're going to say, wait a minute, do I really need this product? Or do I really need this much of this product? Or do I really need to constantly upgrade this product every damn year? Okay, so make sure no matter what you do, I cannot be more sincere about this. Always keep them emotional on whatever emotional level works. I mean, even look at, Oprah Winfrey, right? Oprah Winfrey, who's an entrepreneur, as well as, she runs a really large company. She has for, 30 years now, right? So from the company's perspective, feelings are great. Thinking sucks. So now you know the 5 steps in becoming crazy, stupid rich. And I really, truly hope you become, if it is something you want, crazy, stupid rich. So send me your comments and questions, and each week you'll get a chance to win a copy of one of my books. Your choice, either my book on presentation skills or business writing skills.